painting to photography, from beadwork to woodworking, KQAL-FM on the campus of Winona State University presents Art Beat. Art Beat highlights the work and accomplishments of local artists from in and around Winona. Support for Art Beat is made possible by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund.
Today on Art Beat, we talked with Tricia Wehrenberg, a youth services librarian from the Winona Public Library, to hear more about their collaboration with the Joy Labs. The project is focusing on creating a positive space for youth in Winona while emphasizing an increase in mental health programming. She talked all about the project, why mental health awareness is important, as well as how and where to learn more about the collaboration. I'm Brylee Harris. Stick around as we hear more about mental health art-based programming from Tricia Wehrenberg today on Art Beat. So I'm here today with Tricia Wehrenberg, a youth services librarian from the Winona Public Library. And how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Brylee. Thanks for asking. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah, thank you. Would you be able to kind of just first give us more of an explanation about the collaboration between the library and the Joy Labs project?
Sure. So it started with a collaborative project with Sarah Johnson of the Joy Labs and myself for a mental health mural in the Youth Services Department of the Winona Public Library. And we worked through that pretty much all of fall 2021. I believe we started maybe in October. And that culminated in December. And we have 3 beautiful pieces that were done by 3 different groups in Winona that we are now working with for this new collaboration. So after we finished that last mural and working with the groups that we did, we realized that there was so much more room for growth of this program and helping these kids build their resiliency and their coping skills through spending time together and also creating something and being creative, and then being able to showcase that art publicly in public spaces to create more supportive and safe spaces throughout the city of Winona for youth. So it started as the Winona Public Library, and then we both realized, like, hey, there's more to this, and we decided to continue it and take it out of the library and keep working with these kids to get their message out to the community.
So is anyone able to be a part of the project, or are there already just people that have been chosen and then they're just showcasing their artwork? Or how is that all that working?
Yeah, great question. So we are working with 3 groups specifically, and then this summer we'll be doing a mural at the East End Rec Center that is open to anyone. So the first 3 that we are doing are with specific groups that we're doing with them during their meeting times and in their spaces. We're working with the art students at the Winona Area Learning Center. We are working with the Youth in Our Voices, and we are also working with the Gender Spectrum Alliance at the senior high. So those 3 groups are kind of specifically working with those groups, but the East End Rec one, that mural is open to any youth who would like to participate in it. That starts on June 28th. That will be the first day that we're working there, and we'll publicize this so that folks know this as well. But that one is open to any youth in the community that would like to come and participate in the mindfulness and resilience training that Sarah is leading, and also contribute to the art that will be on display at the East End Rec.
Okay. Would you say that this entire project is mostly just aimed at like teens and like the youth in the community, or is it kind of just really anyone in general?
Yeah, I would say the project itself is built with teens in mind, but we are hoping that by being able to get their arts and their messages across in the community through these public art shows and public art displays and murals, that it will also be a chance for the greater community to participate in that conversation and to hopefully keep that moving long past this project. So the specifics are for the teens, but we're hoping that the culmination of it will bring it to the greater Winona community for all ages, kids and adults.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think it's like smart to start too with younger, I guess, individuals, just because that's kind of, I feel like, when it's really relevant in your life. But I guess just in general, I mean, I talked with Sarah about this too, but I feel like mental health awareness has kind of become more relevant, especially in recent years, like during the pandemic and everything. But What specifically does mental health kind of mean to you?
Yeah, so I think the last 2 years, and Sarah puts this beautifully, so I'm sure she touched on it better than I did, but the last 2 years have caused a lot of, we've gone through collective trauma, and we may not realize it quite yet, but anyone, kids and adults, we've all kind of gone through this trauma of the last couple of years. And I think that this is a good time for a project like this because it gives us a chance to explore how we're feeling. And for me, mental health is checking in with how I'm feeling and actually allowing myself to feel those emotions rather than just continuing through and, doing my job and doing my social commitments and doing my volunteering and not stopping in to check in with myself to see, how am I actually feeling? Do I need to do something to help myself right now? Do I keep pushing through? So for me, I think mental health and taking care of your mental health is that checking in with yourself and not letting yourself just go without paying attention to how you feel.
Yeah, definitely. Trying to avoid being flooded with emotions.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
And so then, aside from just bringing awareness to mental health to youth and just anyone really in the community, what do you think are going to be the major benefits of this project?
Yeah, obviously, yes, the mental health part is great, of bringing that message to the community. I also think the greatest benefit is the time that these young people are taking in their time with us to check in with themselves, to build their coping skills so that when this project is done, they have the coping skills to continue their mindfulness work and their resilience work so that even as they age into adults and keep going through their life, they have these skills they can fall back on to help them cope and to just help them get through things a little bit easier because they have the toolkit now. So I think that is the most important thing that's coming out of this. But I would also say, from my standpoint as someone who works in a public building, it's extremely important to me that there are supportive and safe places for all youth in our community throughout the community. There are little pockets of spaces that kids feel safe, but how beautiful would it be if kids felt safe wherever they went? They didn't feel I don't know if I'm welcome in this place, that they could walk in and know, you are welcome here, you are safe here, we're here to support you, and have supportive adults in their lives. And I'm hoping that the public art that comes out of this, that will hopefully be in many different public places, will help the youth of Winona who aren't part of this project to feel safe in those places too.
Yeah, I think this project really is so cool, and I learned about it just because I don't know how many other projects and programs there are like this. I'm sure there's a lot, but this was one of the first ones that I've heard about, and I think it's so great to catch the younger audiences and be able to really teach them those skills. I think it's important that everybody does that at some point in their lives. So, and then to make it fun with art and everything, I think is just great.
Yeah, and Sarah and I have been working with the Minnesota Department of Health and Winona County Partnership for the funding for this program. And in talking with them, it sounds like this is a fairly unique program, at least within the state of Minnesota, to be doing this kind of targeted, specialized mental health training with kids and using art as a way to manifest it. So we're really excited, and we actually really hope that we can spread the news enough about this that others can take this up as well and do this in their community.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be the goal. Hopefully it ends up like that.
Yeah.
And then so kind of what you were mentioning earlier, just being in the public and seeing kind of what goes on in people's lives every day. Would you say that was a big motivator in wanting the library to public with the Joy Labs, or was it just kind of, I guess, how did that collaboration come about?
Yeah, so the public library is kind of a unique beast, I'll say, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
A lot of people hear the public library and they think I'll go check my books out there. But as the youth librarian, I work with babies through teens, and in my years of being a librarian, I have recognized that the library is a place that a lot of kids go when they might not have support elsewhere. And I am happy to support that, and I'm happy to be the face of that. And because of that, I wanted to be sure that I was getting the library and me as the youth librarian out into the community so they know that there are supportive adults and that there is a place for them to be. So that's kind of what made it important for me to be outside the building and doing this outreach and interacting with youth and teens who aren't coming into the library quite yet, but this partnership will help them start to come and utilize our resources and utilize the space and see everything that's available to them through their public library. So that was what was important to me as a public librarian, because this art we're going to have a show here, but it's not going to live here like the art we did before. So I know some people might be like, why are you part of this?
Yeah.
And that would be what I would say, is I'm just trying to make sure that people know that there is a place for them in Winona, and to know my face and to build relationships with them, to know that the library's here for them.
So then where are people able to go just to find more information about the project in general?
Sure. So there is an article that was recently posted. We spoke with the Winona Daily News, and they interviewed us about it and are hoping to continue to follow up with us about it. So that is out there. We also have, you could visit the website for the Winona Public Library, winona.lib.mn.us, to find out more information. And then also social media. Sarah and I both post quite a bit from the public library Instagram and Facebook pages, and also the Joy Labs Instagram and Facebook pages. So if they want to follow along, they can follow both of those pages and get some regular updates.
A lot of different ways to hopefully get the word out.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else that you would like to add about the project, maybe, or just mental health awareness in general?
I guess I would just say that in spending so much time with these youth over the last over 6 months at this point, it's very apparent to me how intelligent they are and how in tune with their feelings they are. And so I would just, I guess, like to get the message out there that it's important to listen to them when they're telling you something. They do know what's going on inside of them. They might not know the words for it quite yet, but it's important to be a sounding board and to listen to them when they're trying to tell you something, because they are young, but they know what they're doing. They're really intelligent and capable individuals, and I'm really happy I've gotten to spend some time with them.
Yeah, definitely. Again, I think this is such a cool project. When I heard about it, I was really excited to talk to you guys, because I think I think mental health is so important, and so doing something so collaborative and with art, I think is really cool. And I told Sarah too, I'm excited to be able to check out the artwork when more of it comes out.
Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate you chatting with us about this and spreading the word about the importance of mental health in all of us.
Yeah, of course. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk more about it with me.
Yes, I'm happy to.
Thanks again to Tricia Wehrenberg for joining us today on Artbeat. For more conversations on art, tune into Artbeat Tuesdays at 12:30 right here on 89.5 KQAL. I'm Brylee Harris, and we've just heard about mental health, art-based programming from Tricia Wehrenberg today on Artbeat.
Artbeat is written and produced by KQAL-FM on the campus of Winona State University. Visit us on the web at kqal.org.